lawyers, female judges. So, what is humanity rights for justice? Say if you're in a situation and someone tried to threaten your life or your kids, or what if your kid was threatened and he needed to know what's his right for self-defense? What if they said, I'm gonna kill you? What if they said that? So now we're gonna watch something. We're gonna watch some evidence game, okay? So let's watch the evidence, okay? Read the title so you know, and I'm also gonna put the second act of amendments too. So with that being said, let's watch.
Out. The new, let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the bullpen. In the bullpen today, we have Ms. Sophia Hamilton, commentator Young Voices. She's a health policy studies research associate at a libertarian DC think tank, where she focuses on issues related to drugs, poverty, and women's health. Good to have on the program. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Ritchie. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you on. All right, Sophia, Ms. Hamilton, we're going to talk about the new federal agency to address gun violence in America, proposed by the White House. You disagree with it on some level? I agree with it. Let's start the debate. I don't want to presume what you know believe about that proposed division inside of the federal government. So what say you?
Well, thank you so much. I want to first start out by saying that I appreciate that there's some action being taken on gun violence and prevention of this violence. I was in high school when there were the shootings at Douglas Stoneman down in South Florida. I was in high school in Florida. That's something that greatly impacted me and my loved ones. And so it's nice to see that this announcement and that there's something going on and that there's something happening. My issue with the Office of Gun Violence Prevention is I don't think that we should be letting the executive branch legislate. I don't think this is the role of the executive branch, of the president, of the vice president. I think action on gun violence should be taken directly by Congress.
Why?
Because the role of Congress is to legislate. They're the legislative branch. The executive branch has doubled, tripled, quadrupled in size over the past several decades. And we've given too much power to the administrative state. And honestly, they're not very effective at their jobs.
At Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, we believe your career should be something you're passionate about.
Hold on, sorry.
At their jobs.
Congress is effective?
Not always. And that's a great point. I have a lot of issues with the federal government not being effective. So that's a good point to bring up.
Let's go back to a point you made about the administrative wing of our government. You're right. The legislative branch is separate from the executive branch. I read the policy proposal, which, by the way, was presented by a member of Congress, just couldn't get anywhere. I read the policy proposal. There's nothing that...
Say if someone... We have a Second Amendment SAC. A Second Bill of Rights of Amendment. So you understand, say if you were threatened and they said, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to bear arms with your head, what would you feel? I say it to female lawyers, female judges. I say it for you to feel the emotions with it too. So in this message, it's like, what is they really trying to infringe? I hope I said that correctly too. Infringe just mean what are they trying to take for accountage? Because I don't understand. But let's watch more evidence, okay? Let's watch.
Blurs the line between administrative function and law. So when you say, well, basically they're not the right agency to do this, they're the only agency that can actually create administrative agency at will based on budgetary dynamics. So how can you argue that they're not the right agency to do so?
No, that's a great point. I just think fundamentally, I don't think our administrative state should be as large as we've allowed it to become. And this just falls into the administrative state. We've let the president have so much power over the legislative branch. And I do think administrative agencies are in some capacity legislating through their promulgation of different rules through, which I know are not, they're not laws, but they act as laws, and their regulations act as laws. Well, so that's my issue.
When you say their regulation act as laws, that's not correct. They're not able to, let's say, make an administrative policy that goes adverse to the Supreme Court. They're not able to make an administrative policy that goes against a legislative statute. They're not able to make an administrative policy that goes against any statutory dynamics that have been established whatsoever. They are able, by statute, they are able to make administrative offices to deal with particular dynamics within the context of culture and society and government. So it's interesting to me that you did agree in the beginning. You said, listen, I'm glad they're doing something. This would be an office to at least address gun violence.
Hold on, we're about to read something under here. Yes, gun safety and knowing how to actually use your gun and mechanism is proper justice. Yes, I kind of agree with that. Of course, it's a responsibility. You should know gun safety. But in the Second Amendment Act to bear arms, female lawyers, female judges. Remember, there's the Second Act of Amendments. If someone, like I mentioned earlier, try to bear arms with you, what would you do? Just keep that in commotion so we can properly move forward too. So I've seen enough of this video, and I'll talk to you guys later in another video. Thank you. And of course, you can independently read more into this too, to actually gather it too. But I'm going to say thank you again. Thank you.